Welcome to today's deep dive, everyone. Hey, how's it going today?
Hi there. I am doing great, and I am super ready for today's lesson.
Awesome. So, I want to talk to you, the learner, directly for a second. Picture this. You are sitting in a really busy restaurant.
Oh, that is always a stressful start.
Right. It's super loud. There are people talking everywhere, glasses clinking, and, well, your stomach is completely empty. You are just super hungry.
And when you're hungry, everything feels 100 times harder.
Exactly. And you are looking down at a menu written in English, which maybe is your second language, and suddenly it feels like the stakes are just really, really high.
They absolutely do, because ordering food in a second language is not just about buying a meal. It's really a test of your social skills.
Yeah, it's like trying to survive in the wild.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to decode the hidden rules of English-speaking restaurants. We are going to help you figure this out.
We really are. And, I like to think about the restaurant as a map to a hidden treasure.
A map. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Think about it. The restaurant is this new, exciting place. The menu is your treasure map. The waiters, well, they're the local guides helping you out.
Right, right.
And that perfect, delicious meal you want, that is the gold. So our goal today is to teach you how to read that map so you don't end up with fake gold.
Fake gold. I mean, I have to be honest here. A treasure map sounds a bit too nice.
Yeah.
When I think about ordering food in a foreign language, I don't see a map at all.
Really? What do you see then?
I see a minefield. Like you're walking blindfolded through a field of explosives. You take one wrong step, you say one wrong vowel, and boom, your dinner is completely ruined.
A culinary minefield.
Yeah.
That is actually a really fair point.
It's terrifying.
It is. And the psychology of language learning actually explains why you feel that way. When you speak a second language, your brain is working really, really hard.
Yeah, you're translating everything in your head.
Right. And when you add hunger to that, your brain just starts taking dangerous shortcuts. So before we look at the map, let's look at what happens when you ignore the map completely.
Oh, let's do it. Because the first story from our sources is just so painful. Let's call it the tar trap.
The tartar trap. Yes, this is a perfect example of what happens when we assume things instead of asking questions.
So set the scene for us.
Okay, so a diner is at a very nice, expensive restaurant. They are with people from work, and they really want to look smart and in control of their English.
They want to look cool. We all do it.
Exactly. So they look at the menu, and they see the words steak tartare.
And their brain just takes that shortcut. They see the word steak, and they think, oh, I know what a steak is.
Right. They imagine a hot, cooked piece of beef, so they order it. And they order it with so much confidence.
But they didn't know the word tartare.
No, they didn't. They thought it was maybe a fancy sauce. But then the waiter brings the plate to the table, and it is a giant ball of completely raw red meat
Oh, no.
with a raw egg on top.
That is just brutal. You are waiting for a hot meal, and you get raw meat. But, the most interesting part of this story isn't the mistake itself. It's what the person did after.
Right, because normally you just say, oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood the menu. Can I get something else?
Yeah, but they didn't do that at all.
Not at all.
They just sat there. They were so afraid of looking silly in front of their coworkers. They didn't want to say, hey, I don't know what this English word means.
So they just ate it. For 30 minutes, they pretended to enjoy eating raw meat and a raw egg.
Just a miserable experience.
It is sad, but it is very human.
Yeah.
The psychological thing we do to save our pride. We would rather eat raw beef than ask a simple question.
That is wild. But it totally connects to another big problem. The danger of false friends.
Yes. False friends. Words that look exactly like a word in your language, but mean something totally different in English.
They are traps. Like, let's look at a story about an English speaker in Italy. It's the same psychology, just reversed.
Go ahead.
So, this person goes into a pizza place. They really want an American-style pizza with spicy meat on it. So they look at the menu and confidently order a pepperoni pizza.
Because in English, pepperoni is a spicy meat.
Exactly. You say pepperoni, you get meat. But in Italy, pepperoni, spelled with one O-P, means bell peppers, the vegetables.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah. The kitchen makes exactly what they ordered. The waiter brings out a pizza covered in green and red peppers. No meat at all.
And they were expecting a salty meat pizza.
Yep. And just like the raw meat guy, this person just sat there for 20 minutes, sadly picking vegetables off their pizza.
See, it's that same fear of asking questions.
But wait, let me ask you something. With the raw meat and the vegetable pizza, is it all the customer's fault? Shouldn't the waiter kind of, warn you?
Well, that's a really good question, but it shows how the culture of restaurants works. The waiter assumes you are an adult making a choice.
Like you ordered it, so you must want it.
Exactly. If you order confidently, they think it would be rude to question you. So how do we fix this? How do we take control without feeling stupid?
Yes, please tell me.
We use something called polite magic.
Polite magic. Okay, I like the sound of that. Because the way we ask for things in English can feel very weird compared to other languages.
It really can. A lot of learners just translate directly from their native language. They are thirsty, so they think, I want water.
Oh boy. Yeah, if you walk into a diner in Chicago and say, I want water, or give me a burger, it's going to sound really rude.
Very rude. Even if you smile, the words themselves sound like an angry command.
Like you're a king talking to a servant.
Exactly. In English-speaking cultures, we use a lot of politeness. We don't like to force people to do things. So the magic is using words like would and could.
So instead of I want, you say, I would like.
Yes. I would like the chicken, please, or could I have some water?
Could I have the check, please? Another one I hear a lot is I'll have. Like, I'll have the salad.
Yes, I'll have is very friendly and totally correct. By using could I, you are pretending to give the waiter a choice.
Wait, I love this. Let's think about that for a second. Is it actually polite or is it just a trick?
What do you mean?
Well, the waiter can't actually say no. Right. If I say, could I have water, they have to bring it. So it's almost like a little play we are acting out. We are dressing up in order to make it sound like teamwork.
That is exactly what it is. It is a social performance. You both know they have to bring the water. But by asking, could I, you are treating them with respect. You are treating them like a person, not a machine.
That makes so much sense. Okay, so we know how to be polite. But how does this stop us from ordering raw meat? How do we ask questions without sounding annoying?
This is where we use question power. A lot of people fall into the tartar trap because they think asking a question in English is too hard.
They think they need perfect grammar.
Right. They think they have to say, excuse me, could you please explain the specific way this beef is prepared?
Nobody talks like that.
Nobody. You don't need big words. You just need simple questions like, what is in this dish?
What is in this dish? That is so easy.
Is this spicy or does this come with a salad?
And that simple question saves you from a surprise egg on your dinner.
Exactly. Now, what if you want to change the dish?
Oh, this is huge. Especially in North America, we love to customize our food. We don't just order the food, we want to build it ourselves.
We really do. In some countries, asking the chef to change a dish is an insult. But in English-speaking places, the menu is just a suggestion.
Just a starting point.
Right. And the secret phrase you need here is instead of.
Instead of.
Yes. Can I have the salad instead of the fries?
Oh, wow. You just took total control of the meal.
Yeah.
You aren't just taking what they give you. You are the boss of your own dinner.
You are. And notice how that makes you feel. Once you know you can ask simple questions and use instead of, the restaurant isn't scary anymore.
You're driving the car now.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's look closely at the menu itself.
Yeah.
Because knowing how a menu is organized is just as important as knowing the words to use.
Yes. Menus follow a very specific structure. Let's start at the beginning of the meal. The small plates, the soup, the garlic bread.
Right, the things you eat while you wait for the real food. Now, if you were in the US, this is usually called an appetizer.
But if you go to the UK, they call it a starter. It is exactly the same thing, just a different word.
Starter makes sense. It starts the meal.
Right. Then you move to the star of the show, the main course.
The big plate, like pasta or a big piece of fish.
Yes. But if you order beef for your main course, you enter a very stressful moment. We can call it the meat matrix.
The meat matrix. Oh, I know this. You order a burger or a steak, and the waiter immediately asks, how would you like that cooked?
Yes. You have to be very specific. Rare, medium, or well done.
Let's make sure everyone knows these. Rare means it is very red inside. Medium is just a little pink. And well done means no pink at all. It's fully cooked.
Perfect. But the interesting thing here is the culture. Why is the waiter so strict about asking this?
It's that customization thing again, right? English speakers really care about their personal choice. If the kitchen gets it wrong, it feels like they didn't respect your choice.
That is exactly right. It's all about your control. But while you are trying to control your steak, the menu is actually trying to trick your wallet.
Oh, the tricks. Let's talk about sides.
Yes, the side dishes.
Like mashed potatoes or some green beans. Calling them a sidekick makes them sound so friendly, like a little helper for your steak.
They do sound friendly. But it is actually a trick to make you spend more money.
It is exactly like buying a cheap airplane ticket. You think the ticket is $40, but then paying for your bag is extra. Choosing your seat is extra.
And suddenly you spent $100.
Yes. Restaurants do this too. You see a steak for $25 and you think, okay, $25 for dinner, that's fine.
But at the bottom of the menu, in very small letters, it says sides are extra.
Which means to get a normal meal, you have to buy a $6 side of fries and an $8 salad. And suddenly your cheap dinner is really expensive. These little sidekicks are secretly assassinating your budget.
They are. That's why you have to be careful when the waiter asks, would you like any sides with that?
You have to be ready.
Right. You can say, I'll have a side of fries, but you know you are paying more. Or you can politely say, no sides for me, thank you.
You have to protect your money. Which brings us to the very last part of the meal, the hardest part, paying.
It is the most stressful part. You are full, you are tired, and now you have to do math in a foreign language.
It's the worst. It usually starts when the waiter asks about dessert.
Yes. They will say, did you leave room for dessert? And if you are full or you don't want to spend more money, you need to say no politely.
You just say, no thank you, just the check, please.
Let's talk about that word, the check. In the United States, that is the word everyone uses. You ask for the check.
But if you were in London or Australia, it's different.
Yes, in the UK and other places, you ask for the bill. But honestly, if you use the wrong one, they will still understand you.
Right, but the real problem isn't the word. The problem is when you are eating with a group of friends and the waiter brings one piece of paper for everyone.
Group dining. It is a nightmare to sit there and try to calculate who ate what.
Nobody wants to do math after eating a big meal, so you have to use the magic phrase. Can we split the bill?
Or can we pay separately? This is such an important phrase.
It really is. It puts the math problem onto the restaurant's computer instead of you and your friends arguing over pennies.
It keeps everyone happy. But even if you split the bill, there is one last big challenge: tipping.
Oh boy. Tipping causes so much panic because the rules change depending on what country you're in.
They really do. In a lot of countries, a tip is just a nice little bonus if the waiter was amazing. But in the U.S., it is basically a rule.
Yeah, in America, waiters don't get paid a lot by the restaurant. The tip is their actual money to live on.
Exactly. In the U.S., you are expected to leave 15 to 20% extra. It isn't just being nice, it is part of the cost of eating.
And listen to this carefully because it's a huge trap. You have to read the paper receipt first.
Why is that?
Because sometimes, especially if you have a big group of friends, the restaurant already adds the tip to the total. They call it a service charge or an auto gratuity.
Oh, yes. That happens a lot in tourist areas.
And if you are tired, you might just look at the final number, do the math in your head, and add another 20% tip on top. You end up paying a 40% tip.
That will ruin your travel budget instantly.
Mm.
Always check the bill to see if the tip is already included.
Exactly. All right, we covered so much today. Let's do a quick recap so everyone remembers the survival tools.
First, we learned to drop our ego. To avoid the Tor-Dar trap, we have to use question power. Just ask, what is in this dish?
Then we learned polite magic. Don't say I want, say I would like or could I have. It changes everything.
We learned how the menu works. We used instead of to change our food. We mastered the meat matrix, and we learned that sides are extra.
And finally, we survived the end of the meal. We asked for the check or the bill, we split the cost, and we watched out for the double tipping trap.
That is a lot of English to remember. So I want to give you a tiny goal for this week.
A tiny goal. I love it. What is it?
The next time you go to a cafe, even in your own country, practice ordering in your head using this formula. I would like blank with a side of blank, please.
Oh, nice. Like, I would like a coffee with a side of cookies.
Exactly. Practice it until it feels natural. So when you are actually traveling, it is super easy.
That is great advice. But before we go, I want to leave you, the listener, with something to think about. We talked a lot about polite magic today.
Using could I instead of I want.
Right. What does that tell us about how English cultures view waiters? I mean, is it really just about having good manners? Or is it, a sort of play we act out? We are paying for someone to bring us food, but we pretend it is just a friendly favor to make everyone feel better.
Wow. That is a really deep question. It makes the menu look like a script for a play.
Right. It's totally a social theater. So, next time you are hungry in a foreign country, just remember,
Yeah.
you have the map, you know your lines for the play, and please make sure you know what tartar means before you order it.
Yes, please do.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We will catch you next time.